Have you ever comforted yourself with the thought, I will change later? I still have time. As if later were a savings account that would always be there waiting for you. Have you ever known perfectly well that life is fragile, yet still secretly believed that accidents, illness, and death mostly happen to other people, and you personally are on some kind of invisible delay plan? Welcome back to the channel, my friend. I am really glad you are here, because today's topic is not easy, but it is incredibly important. I am your host, and in this video we are going to sit together with a word that many people fear and avoid: impermanence. Rather than talking about it like a cold doctrine, we will approach it the way a wise teacher like Thrangu Rinpoche would, as a mirror that shows us what really matters, and a bell that wakes us up before it is actually too late. We know, at least in theory, that everything changes. We have heard that bodies age, relationships shift, opportunities vanish, and death is certain. But most of us hold a quiet fantasy in the back of the mind that the truly bad news will take a detour around our door, that we still have plenty of time to repair our relationships, to take care of our health, to practice, to say sorry, to say I love you. So we postpone the most important things. We say, when I am less busy, then I will practice. When I retire, then I will really live. We imagine later as an endless field stretching out ahead of us. This talk is here to gently but firmly question that fantasy. Thrangu Rinpoche and many other masters have emphasized that deeply understanding impermanence is not about becoming morbid or pessimistic. It is about seeing the real urgency of life. It is about knowing that the only time that is truly in your hands is this moment, this breath, this day. When that recognition touches your heart, your priorities change. You stop wasting so much of your energy on things that do not matter, and you start giving your time, your attention, and your love to what actually counts. So here is what we will do together today. First, we will look honestly at the subtle ways we pretend we do not know impermanence, the little lies we tell ourselves so we can keep drifting. Then we will walk into some very real, very relatable stories that could easily be yours or mine. Stories of people who thought they still had time and discovered they did not. We will listen to the kind of guidance a teacher like Thrangu Rinpoche gives about death and change, and why he says that remembering impermanence is not to scare you, but to wake you up. Along the way, we will talk about 3 ways of relating to impermanence: the frightened way, the numb way, and the wise way. Finally, we will circle back to your own life and ask, very practically, what will actually change if you let impermanence into your heart today instead of waiting for a crisis? You do not need to force anything. Just listen and quietly compare what you hear with how you are living right now. Let us start from something very small and ordinary. Think about the last time you really looked at your ID card or passport, not just glanced at it to check a number, but actually focused on the date of birth. Did you feel a little jolt when you realized, wait, I am already this age? Maybe when you were a teenager, 30 sounded old. Maybe 40 sounded like real adulthood. Maybe 50 sounded like that is my parents' generation. And then, one day, you look in the mirror and realize you have quietly joined the ages you once filed under old. The calendar did not consult your opinion. It just kept turning. Impermanence is like that silent, unsentimental, unstoppable. Whether you are paying attention or not, whether you like it or not, time is moving. Your body is aging. Your loved ones are changing. Your chances are appearing and disappearing. and death is walking towards you with very steady steps. Ignoring this does not slow it down at all. Pretending you have unlimited time does not add a single hour to your life. You might be thinking, I know this already. Everyone dies. Bodies age. This is not new. And you are right. Intellectually, it is not new. But the uncomfortable truth is this: there is a huge difference between knowing something in your head and letting it pierce your heart. If you really, deeply, viscerally felt that your time is limited, that the people you love could vanish at any moment, that you yourself could be gone before the next holiday, how would you live today? How many things you are currently postponing would move up the list? How many grudges would suddenly look ridiculous? How many hours of scroll and numb distraction would you willingly trade for one honest conversation or 1 hour of practice? Most of us do not live that way. Most of us know impermanence the way we know the terms and conditions of a software update we click accept without reading, because we are in a rush to get back to our usual habits. Let me tell you a story that weaves a few lives together into one, a story that might feel uncomfortably close. Imagine a woman named Laura. In her 20s, Laura was full of plans. She was not a bad person. She wanted to take care of her parents, marry someone she loved, travel, maybe try meditation one day, maybe learn more about the deeper side of life. But each of those good intentions had the same tag attached later. She worked hard in a corporate job, often staying late to impress her boss. When her parents called and hinted that they missed her, she felt a pinch of guilt. She would say, I am really busy right now, but when this quarter is over, I will visit more. When friends invited her to a retreat or a talk by a spiritual teacher, she would say, I am interested, but let me get my career settled first. Later, when I am more stable, I will definitely make time. She could feel that her life was not entirely aligned with her heart, but there was always some kind of emergency at work, some deadline, some project. She became used to telling herself, just get through this period, and then you can really start living. Later became a word she repeated like a mantra. Time passed. This period stretched into years. Her parents' hair turned whiter. She visited them a few times a year, usually rushing in and rushing out, half her attention on her phone. Each time, her mother would press food into her hands and say, take care of yourself. Do not work too hard. Each time, she would nod and say, I will, and then go straight back to working weekends, eating at her desk, scrolling herself to sleep. One day, in the middle of a workday, she got a call. It was about her father. There had been a sudden stroke. By the time she reached the hospital, he could not speak. Tubes and machines surrounded him. She held his hand and felt the dry skin and the bones under it, and only then realized how fragile he had become. Her mind was a storm of shock and regret. All the later I will talk to him properly. Later, I will take him on that trip. Later, I will ask him about his childhood crashed against the hard wall of the present. Later had expired without warning. He died a few days later. The funeral passed in a blur. Back at home, Laura sat in front of her father's empty chair and felt a wave of grief that was not just about losing him, but about losing the future she had imagined. She had always pictured a later version of herself, a better daughter who would finally have time. That version died with him. In the months that followed, she noticed something eerie. She was still repeating the same pattern. Now it was her own health she was postponing. I will exercise later, when things calm down. I will change my diet later, when I am less stressed. I will meditate later, when my mind is less messy. Life gave her a second warning, a minor health scare during a routine check. The doctor said, "It is not serious yet, but if you keep living like this, we might be having a very different conversation in 10 years. In that moment, tears filled her eyes. She remembered the hospital corridor and her father's silent face. She realized she had been living as if she were exempt from impermanence, as if she were the exception to the rule. Deep down, she had thought, "I still have time. Others get sick and die. I am different." Now she saw that this was a fantasy. She also realized something else. Knowing this in theory had not been enough to change her. She needed to feel it. She needed to let it hit her, not as an abstract concept, but as a living truth. This is where a teacher like Thrangu Rinpoche comes in. Again and again, in his teachings on death and impermanence, he points out that it is not enough to casually say, "Everything changes." You have to contemplate it, slowly and repeatedly, until your heart shifts. He often suggests meditation on death not as a grim ritual, but as a clear mind-aside examination. Your body is aging right now, breath by breath. Every day, you are a little closer to your last day. The people around you are also walking toward their own endings. This could sound frightening. It could make you want to shut off the video and go watch something more cheerful. But before you do that, let us pause and look at 3 different reactions people often have to impermanence. The first reaction is fear-based. When some people hear life is impermanent, they immediately imagine car crashes, sudden illnesses, and tragedies. Their hearts tighten. They become anxious about every little symptom, every creak of a plane, every noise at night. They see the world as full of threats. This fear does not make them kinder or wiser. It just makes them more jumpy and mistrustful. Impermanence, seen this way, becomes like a monster under the bed. The person lives in constant vigilance, waiting for disaster. They might even avoid doing meaningful things out of fear. This is not what the teachings are pointing to. The second reaction is numbness. Some people use everything is impermanent as an excuse to avoid responsibility. They say, "Well, nothing lasts anyway. Everything is empty. So why bother really committing to anything? Why try to be better? Why keep promises?" They throw the word impermanence around casually to justify laziness and selfishness. This is what some teachers call fake seeing through. It is not true insight. It is a disguised form of giving up. The person is not facing the reality of suffering unchanged. They are using a philosophical idea as a shield so they do not have to feel. The third reaction is the wise one. This is what the Dharma is really inviting you into. A wise view of impermanence sees that because everything changes, nothing painful is permanent and nothing pleasant is guaranteed. Because things are not fixed, habits can be transformed. You can leave unhealthy relationships. You can stop feeding addictions. You can choose a different path. The fact that life is flowing means that right now, in this very moment, you have a chance that will never come again in exactly the same way. In this view, impermanence does not make life meaningless. It makes it precious. The limited nature of your time and your loved ones makes your choices matter more, not less. Each word, each action, each breath becomes an opportunity to move toward wisdom and compassion or toward confusion and regret. Thrangu Rinpoche encourages practitioners not to use fear to force themselves, but clarity to remind themselves. When you really understand that you cannot assume you will wake up tomorrow, you do not necessarily become depressed. You become more deliberate. You ask, if this were my last day, would I really want to spend it angry? distracted, and half minus asleep? Let us go back to Laura and imagine how her life changes when she stops treating impermanence as a slogan and starts using it as a lens. In the months after her father's death and her own health scare, she begins to practice a very simple contemplation. Every morning, before looking at her phone, she sits for a few minutes and tells herself, "I am alive today, but there is no guarantee I will be alive tomorrow. The same is true for the people I love. Today is not a rehearsal. Today is the actual performance." At night, before sleep, she reviews her day and asks, "Did I use this limited day in a way I can respect? If I did not wake up tomorrow, what would I regret most about how I lived today?" In the beginning, these questions are uncomfortable. They reveal a lot of habits she would rather not look at. But because she keeps asking, small changes begin to appear. She starts visiting her mother more often, not out of guilt, but because she sees that the window of time for shared meals and conversations is shrinking. Instead of scrolling through her phone at the table, she looks at her mother's face, really looks, and asks about her day, her memories, her worries. She discovers stories she never knew, episodes from her mother's youth, sacrifices she had never mentioned, fears she had silently carried. These conversations do not take away the eventual separation that death will bring, but they fill the remaining time with real connection. At work, she still does her best, but she stops treating every email like a matter of life and death. When the company demands unreasonable overtime, she quietly sets boundaries. "My time is my life," she thinks. It is not an endless fuel tank for corporate goals. She starts to leave on time some days and uses that time to care for her health, to walk in the park, to read, to meditate, to meet friends in a more present way. She begins a basic meditation practice, not because it looks impressive, but because she realizes that her mind is the one thing she will carry to the moment of death. Her job, her status, her clothes, her digital photos, none of these will go with her. The quality of her mind will. So she invests in that. She still gets scared sometimes. She still feels sad when she thinks of her father. She still messes up, loses her temper, wastes time. Impermanence contemplation does not turn her into a saint overnight, but there is a new seriousness, a new tenderness in the way she walks through her days. It is as if someone turned up the contrast on her life. Colors are sharper, both joys and sorrows more vivid, and her sense of what truly matters is clearer. Now, let us widen the lens. Imagine you are listening to Thrangu Rinpoche in a quiet hall. His voice is calm, his manner almost casual, but his words are like arrows. He says something like this: "Death is certain. The time of death is uncertain." When you really take that in, you stop postponing the practice of awakening. You stop waiting for a future perfect moment. You realize that each breath is both a step toward death and an opportunity for liberation. He often encourages people not to assume that being young or healthy guarantees time. How many news stories have we read of people younger than us, fitter than us, dying suddenly? Accidents do not ask for your age. Illness does not read your plans. The habit of thinking, "I have time," is one of the most dangerous illusions. At the same time, he warns that constantly thinking, "I might die any moment," can be misused. If you use it to panic, you are missing the point. The goal is not to live in a state of hypervigilance. The goal is to live in a state of awakened appreciation. Grounded in the law of karma, your future experience is shaped by your present actions. The fact that you might die tomorrow does not mean nothing matters. It means what I choose now matters intensely. He might ask you to imagine that you have just been informed you have 1 week to live. What would you do differently? Would your current grudges still feel worth clinging to? Would you still obsess over people who do not like your posts? Would you still binge your way through another drama series? Or would you choose to spend that time differently? Then he would ask you to gently see that your situation right now is not fundamentally different. You do not know how much time you have. The 1-week deadline is always possible. The difference is that you have not been officially informed yet. So why not live as if you had already received that reminder? But without the panic? This is the heart of what it means to see impermanence wisely. It is not about walking around saying, I am going to die, I am going to die, in a gloomy way. It is about letting the fact of death put a bright frame around your day. A flower is more beautiful, not less, because you know it will wither. A sunrise is more precious because you know it will fade. Time with a loved one is more intense when you remember that there will be a last time for everything, a last time you see their face, a last time you hear their voice, a last time you walk side by side. If you really let that awareness in, something deep changes in how you relate to people. Think of the last argument you had with someone close to you. In the heat of the moment, it might have felt like the only thing that mattered was being right. You might have said cutting things, slammed doors, turned away. Now imagine being told that this person will die tomorrow. Suddenly, all the clever points you were making in the argument feel hollow. The last harsh words you shouted start to burn. You might find yourself wishing desperately that you could take them back and replace them with a simple, I am sorry, I love you. Let us not waste our remaining time like this. Impermanence contemplation brings that kind of clarity into the present. Before it is too late, it asks, if this conversation were your last chance with this person, would you still say what you are about to say in the way you are about to say it? Not as a way to suppress your truth, but as a way to express it with less poison and more care. It also changes how you look at your own inner life. Many people think, I know my habits are unhealthy. I know my anger hurts people. I know my addictions are harming my body and mind. But I will quit later. I will heal later. I will seek help later. I will practice later. They imagine that one day, perhaps when they are older, a switch will flip magically, change will just happen. Impermanence whispers, what if there is no later? Or what if later is much shorter than you think? It does not shout. It just keeps asking that question until you feel the weight of it. At some point, if you listen, a new voice arises in you, one that says, if I keep postponing, my life will be over before I even begin to live in a way that aligns with my heart. I do not want to wake up on my deathbed realizing that I postponed myself to death. That voice can be painful to hear, but it is also the voice of awakening. One of the most compassionate things you can do for your future dying self is to not abandon your present living self. Take care of this body now, not just so it looks a certain way, but so it can support you in practice and service. Heal your relationships now, as much as possible, not because you can force others to change, but because you do not want to carry unnecessary regret. Begin your spiritual practice now, even if it is small and clumsy, so that facing death will not be your first encounter with your own mind. Contemplating impermanence also shines a light on what we call the urgent and the important. Modern life trains you to treat urgent things as important simply because they shout louder. The email, the notification, the deadline, the ringing phone, the breaking news all scream for attention. Meanwhile, the truly important things often unwhisper your inner growth. your values, your relationships, your integrity, your practice. Impermanence flips the usual logic. When you remember that you could die at any time, you realize that some urgent things are actually trivial, and some not urgent things are absolutely vital. For example, answering every message immediately might feel urgent. Apologizing for a hurt you caused may not. But on your deathbed, which will matter more? Finishing another season of a show might feel urgent. Writing a letter to your parents or children might feel like something you can always do later. Again, which one will be part of your deepest regrets? Staying overtime every night to make someone else rich might feel urgent. Taking care of your health might feel like something you will attend to after this project is over. But sickness and age will not wait for your project timeline. Impermanence invites you to reorder your priorities. It asks you to put waking up, loving well, and acting from wisdom at the top of your list, not at the bottom. It is not telling you to quit your job or ignore responsibilities. It is asking you to see clearly which responsibilities are truly yours and which are just endless demands you can never satisfy. You might be thinking, this all sounds inspiring, but how do I actually integrate this into my daily life without becoming overwhelmed? Let us keep it very simple and practical. You can start with a tiny daily ritual, one brief contemplation in the morning, one in the evening. In the morning, as soon as you remember to, maybe even before getting out of bed, say quietly to yourself, I am alive today. Many people who went to sleep last night did not wake up. I do not know how long I have, but I know I have this day. May I use it wisely. Let the reality that this day is a gift, not a guarantee, sink in for a moment. During the day, when you catch yourself postponing something truly important with the excuse later, gently challenge yourself. Ask, is later really guaranteed? If this matters to my soul, why not take at least one step now? The step can be small: sending a message, booking an appointment, starting a practice for 5 minutes. The point is to break the habit of endless delay. In the evening, before you sleep, take a few minutes to review your day through the lens of impermanence. Ask, if today were my last full day, am I at peace with how I spent it? Where did I waste my time? Where did I act from love and clarity? Where did I act from fear and ego? When you see something you regret, let yourself feel sincere remorse and resolve. When you see something you are grateful or proud of, acknowledge it and say thank you. If you follow a spiritual path, you can also dedicate the goodness of your day to all beings, especially those who are dying or grieving right now. You can say, may whatever small good I did today help relieve suffering in the world. May I not waste this precious life. Over time, this simple practice reshapes your mind. It slowly dissolves the arrogant assumption that you are on a long, open road with endless chances. It replaces it with a more humble and powerful awareness: my life is finite, fragile, and incredibly precious. I do not want to sleepwalk through it. You might worry that this will make you constantly sad. In reality, most people who sincerely practice impermanence contemplation report the opposite. They feel more alive, more present, more appreciative. Yes, they feel grief too, but it is a clean grief, not the sticky regret of someone who never faced reality. Now let us bring this all the way back to you, sitting here listening. Maybe, as you hear these words, certain faces come to mind: a parent you have not visited in a long time, a friend you drifted away from after a misunderstanding, a partner you keep promising to treat better, a child you keep telling, I am busy, later, Maybe certain habits surface scrolling through hours of content each night, telling yourself you will quit a destructive pattern someday, postponing medical checkups, postponing meditation, postponing honesty. Maybe you have already had a warning, a funeral that shook you, a diagnosis, a breakup, an accident. Maybe part of you woke up at that time and said, "I will live differently now," and then, slowly, you drifted back into the old way. This video is another gentle nudge, not from me as a person, but from the reality of impermanence itself. It is knocking on your door again, not to threaten you, but to invite you to live more truly. Ask yourself, very concretely, if I died 1 year from today, what would I most regret not having done, not having said, not having faced? Then ask, what can I do about that this week? Not in some ideal future, but with the messy, limited time and energy I actually have now. Maybe the answer is, I would regret not reconciling with my brother. Then your action this week could be, I will reach out once, even if I am scared. Maybe the answer is, I would regret never having really started my spiritual practice. Then your action could be, I will sit for 10 minutes each morning, even if my mind is noisy. Maybe the answer is, I would regret not having lived in alignment with my values. Then your action could be, I will say no to one thing that violates my integrity, even if it costs me something. These may look small, but they are not. They are ways of saying to life, I hear you. I know my time is limited. I will not keep throwing my real priorities into the future. Let me also speak to the part of you that might be feeling regret right now. Maybe as you listen, you are thinking of people who have already died, relationships that are already broken, chances that are already gone. You might be saying, it is too late. I cannot fix it. In a literal sense, yes, some doors have closed. You cannot call your father if he has already passed. You cannot go back to being 20. You cannot say certain words. The teaching of impermanence is not here to pretend otherwise, but it is also not here to pin you to your past. The same principle that says everything changes also says you can change now. You cannot rewrite the past, but you can transform your relationship to it. You can grieve fully. You can forgive yourself where you honestly can. You can make amends where there is still a path. You can let your regret become fuel for living more awake today. Sometimes, the most powerful vows are born from regret. Many people on a spiritual path started because they saw, with a kind of shock, how much time they had wasted. Instead of drowning in that realization, they used it as a turning point. They said, I cannot get back what I have already thrown away, but from now on, I will be more careful with my seconds, minutes, and hours. If you make such a vow sincerely, even now, you are honoring both your past mistakes and your future possibility. As we move toward the closing of this long reflection, I want to talk to you the way I would talk to a close friend in a quiet room. You might feel that your life is ordinary, almost invisible in the big world. You might think, who cares how I use my time? I am not a leader, not a saint, not a celebrity, but the universe of your own mind and heart is not small. Every moment you choose truth over self-deception, kindness over cruelty, presence over distraction, you are shifting the balance of your inner world. That inner world is what you will meet at the moment of death. When that moment comes, it will not matter how carefully you curated your online image. It will not matter how many strangers approved of you. What will matter is whether you can meet yourself without flinching, whether you can look back and say, not I was perfect, but I did not abandon my own heart. I tried to wake up. I tried to love honestly. I did not waste everything. Impermanence can be your harshest teacher if you resist it, or your most compassionate teacher if you accept it. It strips away illusions, but it also gives you the gift of urgency. It says, if something is worth doing, do it now. If someone is worth loving, love them now. If a habit is worth dropping, start dropping it now. If a path is worth walking, take one step now. So, my friend, I want to invite you to do something after this video finishes. Do not just nod and move on. Take a piece of paper or open a note on your device and write down 3 things. 1 person you want to treat better from today onward. 1 habit you want to begin that brings you closer to wisdom and compassion. 1 illusion or excuse you are ready to let go of, especially around the idea that you still have endless time. Then, before the day ends, take 1 small action toward each of those. It does not need to be dramatic. A call, a message, a promise to yourself backed by a concrete step. Let this be your way of saying to life, I heard the message. I am not going to sleep through my own existence. If you feel comfortable, I would love to hear in the comments what impermanence has taught you. Have you had experiences where a sudden loss or change woke you up to what really matters? Have you made different choices because you realized time was not guaranteed? Have you struggled with fear or numbness when thinking about death and found ways to move toward a wiser view? Your stories and reflections are not just content. They are lanterns. Someone somewhere may read your comment on a night when they are lost in delay and distraction, and your honesty might be the thing that turns them back toward their own life. If this long, quiet conversation has given you even a small shift in perspective, I warmly invite you to stay connected with this channel. Here we often talk about awakening, wisdom, cause and effect, compassion, practice, destiny, and of course, impermanence, not as abstract ideas, but as living forces in our everyday choices. You can subscribe so you will not miss future videos. And you can like this one so that the platform is more likely to carry it to people who might be living under the illusion of later. If you feel that having a place like this matters, a place where we can talk honestly about death, regret, urgency, and love, you can also consider supporting the channel as a member. That support helps us keep creating content that is not just fast entertainment, but a kind of companionship for the soul, especially on the days when life feels fragile. Thank you for staying with me all the way to the end. May the truth of impermanence not crush you, but wake you. May it help you see what is truly urgent in your life, and give you the courage to do it. May you live in such a way that when your last day comes, whenever it comes, you can take a deep breath and say, with a clear heart, I did not always get it right, but I did not waste this life. There comes a time when you realize you want something that belongs just to you, something that brings comfort and keeps you connected to your inner world. Wall-crafted bracelet does exactly that. Quietly, softly, and consistently. If you felt drawn to any bracelet in this video, you'll find the purchase link in the video description, and many more auctions in the channel's storefront. Because sometimes the smallest item can bring the biggest sense of peace.